Hi there, podcasting aficionados. Today we're going to show you how to create a podcast. In this case, we're doing a music review type podcast. And I've already recorded my review here, and I want to intersperse parts of a song throughout this podcast. Before I do that, I want to go over the few tools that we have available to us. One is the general selection tool right here, which means I can select part of this. I can copy that. If I just select this just like I do in a Word, I can just do Control-C on a Windows, Command-C on a Mac here. And then I can come down here and paste it, Command-V or Control-V on Windows. Command-X to undo. So it's very simple to move things around, taking a selection of your audio or the audio from the music. This right here is a zoom tool. Allows you to zoom in on the audio so you can get to a precise point with the selection tool. This tool right here is a handy dandy tool. I'm going to show you how to use it in conjunction with your podcast. It basically allows you to click on parts of the audio and then be able to draw down, click, hold, and pull down the audio so you can speak over it without the music drowning you out, okay? So I'm going to do Command-Z to undo all these things I just did there. There. Now I'm back to normal. Go back to my regular selection tool. So selection tool, zoom tool, and then move tool right here. If I move this, I can now move my audio down if I want to position it over a certain point. So using those tools, let's come over here. I'm going to just simply click on my piece of music here, which in this case is Michael Jackson's Beat It. Okay, so now I have Michael Jackson's Beat It. Because this is a sound podcast, an audio podcast, a voiceover type podcast, I'm going to select all of Michael's song here and go up here to the top where it says tracks, stereo track to mono. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. And also we'll notice these are called waveforms, these spikes in the audio, and this is much louder than my audio, much richer, more fun. So I'm going to select all of that and go show you another tool, Effect, Amplify. I'm going to turn down that audio. You may have to experiment and do this a couple times because we don't want it to be too overbearing. Okay, that's a little much. So Command-Z, undo, Control-Z on a Windows, Effect, Amplify. I'm just going to turn it down. Let's see how that sounds. You better run, you better do it, you can't. Not too bad. So, what I want to is the most recognizable part of Michael Jackson's song to start first. And, you know, he does have an intro here. First, let me move my piece down so I don't interfere with it. Go back to the selection tool. So there's a little bit of a musical intro, but I want it to start when he starts singing. That's what people recognize. So what I'm going to do is zoom in so I can see where that starts. Go back to my selection tool. I'm just going to delete that part. So that was starting to play. So probably, let's see when you start singing. Right in there. So I'm going to actually get to that point first. Then I'm going to select that. I'm going to go back to my effects, the menu at the top, and go fade in. All right. So he's going to fade in. Let it play for about 20 minutes, 20 seconds rather. Actually less. Let's say about 12, 15 seconds. That's where I want my audio to come in. Back to my move tool. slide it down here, and I want it to come in about right there. Now here's where the magic comes. So you may have several sections of review where you talk for a bit, the song plays, then you talk for a bit more. But this will give you the idea how to do that. I'm going to go back up to my tool here that's going to allow me to put points on the audio track below and lower the volume so I can talk over it, and yet it still plays in the background. So I'm going to just add a few points here, here, and then toward the end here. I'm going to start squeezing that in there. Some more points here. And you'll have to play around with this and see how it goes. So let's see how this sounds. For around 7 years, Michael Jackson was the most luminous. Too bad. So go to the end. That may have been. It may have been Tom Cruise. So there we go. We have a podcast. So now I can just go up to File, Export Audio, and I want to call it Beat It Review. Save it to the desktop, save it as an MP3 file, save it. They're going to mix this thing down into one file, that's good. Click OK. Takes a few seconds. And now I am going to drag the Beat It Review back in here. So there's my review. And I want to hear it, and I don't want to hear anything else. So I'm just going to click on the solo button here. It mutes everything else. I can delete those now that I'm done, but I don't want to until I'm convinced I'm finished. So let's just play a little bit here. For around 7 years, Michael Jackson was the most luminous, powerful, influential star in the music business, and no one else was even close. During that period, and I'll probably do one more trim here at the end of my talk. Tom Cruise. I'll let his music play for a few more seconds. Then I'm going to delete all that and come back here, select, go to my effects at the top menu, fade out. Okay, I'm done. So I'm just going to delete these other two. I'm going to export this audio. Beat It Review Final. And there it is. Thanks for listening.